Hey guys, we're outside the Granite State Legends Car dealership. Let's go inside. We're going to learn a little bit about Granite State Legends cars. Well, now we're inside the Granite State Legends Car dealership. I bring in Ryan now.
Yep.
Nice to have you join us for this little, I don't know, insert.
Well, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So tell us about Legends cars and Bandoleros and stuff like that.
Well, we've had Legend cars here since 2010, where they raced a couple times, and then the season 2011-2012 seasons, we actually started developing a race season out of them, and it's grown over the years here. The car count, especially here, pretty much in New England in general. So we actually decided to put in a dealership here that just opened September 20th of last year. So actually tomorrow is the 1-year anniversary of being here on property. So we opened up this dealership primarily to help serve those in New England, to help them out, obviously grow the sport, because the Legend cars in the Bandoleros are meant to be fun and affordable racing for anyone. So, yeah, I mean, we carry brand new Legend cars and Bandoleros for sale. They're race ready, basic models, and we also carry the parts for each car as well in our back room, which we'll probably get a tour of soon.
Alright.
And we also carry some other gear like G-Force, racing electronics, cool shirt systems, VP fuel. So we pretty much have everything that you need to get you started racing, and at an affordable rate.
Now, how much would, like, if I say, well, my little sister, she would probably start like the Bandoleros, how much would it?
Base price for today's current price for Bandolero is $5,995. So just about $6 grand.
All right.
And that's race ready. I mean, yeah, I actually have one right here, or two of them right here, I should say. That those are the basic models. Those are race ready. It's you have that fiberglass body, white, obviously white. You have the option to do a custom order through us. So what we can do is, if you want a certain piece on it installed, they build and develop them down in Harrisburg, North Carolina, that's where U.S. Legend Cars International is located, and that's where they build them. So they can pretty much do a custom order to your setting, and then they can ship the car up here. But we just are very fortunate enough to have two right here for sale.
And then Legends cars, like,
basic price for a Legend car is $13,430, and that includes a $1,000 instant rebate. So ideally the price is $14,430, but with that rebate, you're already taking $1,000 off of that. You have over $3,000 worth of upgrades included in the car, and then same thing. It's a white fiberglass body, but you have 10 different body styles to choose from.
Cool. So Caitlin, you gotta start saving your pennies. So we are now by a Bandolero car. So can you tell us some of the fundamentals, I guess you'd say, about this car?
Yeah, I mean, all the Bandoleros have the same body styles. This one in particular actually is wrapped. So one of our, someone that we know, that we do business with as far as like even all the signs here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, he actually wrapped this car, and actually I'm amazed at how well they can do it. It's got pretty much, I mean, like I said, it's ideally all the same. All the Bandolero cars, you go through the roof here, like so. So the kids come, or the kids or anyone that drives this car goes from that side, and they go through the roof, and then they pretty much sit in the seat there, strap themselves in, and then obviously turn it on, and good to go.
Wow.
So I mean, and then the engine is located in the back here. It's a British Stratton Vanguard engine, so it's got 30 horsepower. So I mean, it's actually pretty powerful for a size engine like that. There's actually no front suspension in this car. It's just an A-arm and a spindle. Obviously, all the nuts and bolts that go with it, and the heims. And then the rear suspension, you have the axle with shocks, springs as well.
So is that why when they come off the inner road course and they come up the hill, the car like shakes so much?
Yeah. It's this is our first year actually running these cars. This is the first time that we've ever had them here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and the first full season of this car. So the beginning of the year, I mean, it's an interesting type of track because, like I said, there's no front suspension. So when you go into the turn one, it's kind of, you go up into the bank. So it's kind of like a very interesting transition, I guess you could say, into that. But our drivers have actually adapted to that turn pretty well over the season. Like they've developed more and more. So we actually have some clean racing, a few cautions here and there.
Yeah.
But
I've noticed a couple of times they'll come into that corner and they'll just spin out. It's like, well, there's the transition.
Yeah, I mean, the Bandolero is, I mean, it's the next level between a go-kart and a car. Difference is, I mean, go-kart on average about 300, 350, roughly around there. The weight for this to meet with the driver is 750 pounds.
Wow.
So I mean, it's almost double the weight of that. The engine is, I mean, there's more horsepower in this engine than there are in some go-karts. So, I mean, when you're in a go-kart and you're going around a turn, the handling, I mean, you can just stay on the gas pedal the entire time. But with the Bandoleros, it handles much differently because, like I said, the weight and the horsepower play a significant role. So if you go into the corner too fast and too tight, then you might spin out from that. So at first, a lot of the drivers are, I mean, some of the drivers are trying to get that mindset, but like I said, I mean, they've definitely developed over the season, and it really only happens a few times to a few of them. But I mean, it's been good, clean racing. A lot of interesting races in these cars. One of our races, we actually had a dead-on tie.
Yeah, recently, right?
Yeah, it was race number 10, I believe. It was actually a tie. We had nine cars in the field, and it was hard, clean racing the entire race until the final 3 laps. The first and second place cars, it was the 16 of Jordan Lamont and the 1 of Derek Devis. And they were just battling back and forth, and then at the start-finish line, they pretty much crossed the line at the same time.
Wow.
So even checking out timing and scoring, they went to the 1,000th of a second. They're still the exact same time. So both of them were declared first-place winners.
Well, that must be
So I mean, it is. I mean, there's not that many times where you hear Bandolero race resulting in a tie.
Yeah.
I mean, not even in regular racing in general.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I know with the Legends cars, which we'll get to in a minute, you said when we were here recently, like they'll be in like 2 parts, like the shell, like for certain models, like they'll be basically 2 pieces put together. Like with this one back here, it's 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Bandolero it's actually different body parts, and the way you can tell, I mean, you can see like the cutouts, so like you see right where your finger is. This is the nose section.
Okay.
So it's all the same nose pieces, all the same dashes, all the same windscreens, same roofs, same tail sections, the right door, the left door, and the bumper. So I mean, they're all the same pieces. For the Bandolero, they're all the same body styles.
So like if you get in a crash and your front nose gets wrecked, you can replace that without having to.
Yep. So that's the one neat thing about these Bandoleros is they come in different sections, and so if you only damage one section in particular, you just only have to replace that section.
All right. Well, if we'll move over to the Legends car, camera person will follow us. A little bit bigger, different style than the Bandolero.
Yeah. It definitely is a big difference. I mean, like I said, the Bandolero it's a smaller car. It's got a Bruce Stratton Vanguard engine. This car in particular has the Yamaha 1250cc sealed engine in it. So the amount of horsepower it has 130. So from 30 horsepower to 130, you're already 100 horsepower difference.
Wow.
I mean, these things can really fly.
I heard like 160 on the straightaway for the road course.
I mean, on the road course, I mean, if you head down, we use the entire front stretch. So, I mean, there are people that have gone 110, 120
Wow.
down the front stretch of that. So I mean, they really fly down the front stretch.
Just for people watching this, to size comparison, for anybody who's met me, thing's huge. Like if you watch it on video or something, it's like, oh, a Legends car. No.
Yeah,
Not
I
really
mean,
that little.
yeah, a lot of people when they see it out in the grandstands, it doesn't look that big. I mean, even when you're standing next to one right now, I mean, you look at it and you think, how can I really fit in one of those? But once you get into the car and you get yourself in the seat, it becomes natural to you.
Wow. Well, if we can look at the like I know one question I got, because I did like a little questionnaire about this, how does it get fueled?
How's it get fueled?
And our camera's gonna have to run around here.
So the fuel cell is, on both cars, they're actually located in the back. So actually right here in this scenario, unfortunately I don't think I can get to that, but it actually, oh, look at that. So you have that little gas can right here,
Alright.
at least on the sedans I know. And you can actually open up, pretty much take this off, the deck lid, and you can actually see the gas tank right there, or the fuel cell.
Okay.
Every car has the same fuel cell. It's a 4.1 gallon tank. I mean, they can either go with the black plastic one, or there's actually a metal red one as well.
And the same size?
Yep, same size.
And then, while we're back here, the bumpers, do they vary? Like, can you get different size?
Same bumpers.
Same bumpers?
Same bumpers.
And it's the same for the Bandos, or just?
Yep. Yep, I mean, obviously the Bando bumpers are different than the Legend cars, but they're all the same on every car.
Alright.
They're all stock.
Alright, now, would you be interested in bringing us out back and showing us
Yeah.
the bodies and stuff?
Yeah, sure.
So now we're in the back of the dealership, really.
Yep.
And I guess the bodies, you mentioned before, the Legends car, some models come one piece.
Yep. Yep, so I mean, the 34 models, the 34 Ford Coupe and the 34 Chevy Coupe, they all come as one whole body, one center section piece. But what I've noticed was the 37 bodies and the 40 body styles, they actually are split in half. Not really sure why that is, but it is what it is. So for anyone that has that, it's actually much better that way, because if, like I said, if you, let's even say you crash one side of the car, you pretty much just have to replace just that one side.
Alright. So, yeah, you showed us that when we were here before, and we'll probably have a picture of that for you guys.
Yeah, so I mean, we literally have all different types of body styles back here. I mean, we have the 34 Ford Coupe, we have the 34 Chevy Coupe. Up there, we have a 34 Ford sedan. Right up there, 37 Ford sedan. Let's see, we have a 37 Chevy Coupe and a 37 Chevy sedan in stock.
Wow.
So, I mean, we're pretty well equipped with at least bodies, and as you can see right here with fenders as well. We have plenty of Legend car fenders. I mean, we also carry the Bandolero body parts as well. So, I mean, as we were talking about earlier, with there being different types of body styles, you can pretty much just get it piece by piece for those types of cars.
So, and you mentioned this the other day, drivers will come from when they're racing here, they'll come in here and basically say, hey, I just crashed my right fender. You guys can be like, oh, hold on, you get it?
Yeah, so I mean, at least what we've done so far on race weekend is for the road course, Legend cars do practice at 8 in the morning from 8 to 8:20, and then they have that time frame between 8:20 and 11:15 to do a race or to do whatever to their cars. So if they need something during that time, they can always run to the shop here and they can pick up the part. I mean, we're open on race day. I mean, we're open 7 days a week. So Monday through Friday, we're open from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and then Saturdays and Sundays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. during the season. So, I mean, and the other thing is when we do the quarter-mile oval, we may not necessarily be open, but once the races are done, we actually go around and ask every team if they need certain parts.
Wow.
So we want to make them feel satisfied with the parts that they need. Because I mean, if something were to happen that night, they can, like I said, they can come over here and they can pick up the parts. So we're more than willing to help anyone out with the parts that they need. And we can always ship the parts out to them wherever they're located.
Now, New Hampshire Motor Speedway isn't the only track that they race at, right? Like, what
For legend cars, they pretty much race all across New England. I mean, we race here at New Hampshire Motor Speedway. There's a touring series called Car up in Maine that they race all across Maine. A few of those tracks are Beech Ridge, Oxford, Wiscasset. They race down at Star Speedway a couple times out of their season as well. We also there's also races down at Seekonk in Massachusetts, and then the Waterford Speed Bowl down in Connecticut. So I mean, there's a lot of racing here, and those are all oval asphalt tracks. As far as road course tracks, as far as I know, we're the only ones in the Northeast that actually does legend car racing. So I mean, there are other road courses throughout New England. There's plenty of them, but as of right now, I think we're the only ones that do road course racing here.
Wow. Any in Vermont?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, actually, one of our participants in this upcoming Saturday is Gifford's 25, Famous Ice Cream 25. We have a legend car from Vermont, and he says there's no racing out in Vermont.
Wow.
So he travels here to New Hampshire and races.
Now, do legend cars race on dirt at all? Like,
They do. Unfortunately, we just don't have that type of track here. But I mean, they do.
Okay.
They do other parts of the United States.
And of course, legend cars race all over the country.
Yep. Same thing with the Bandoleros. I mean, both of these cars race all across the United States. As far as here in New England, there's New Hampshire Motor Speedway, and then there's Waterford Speed Bowl down in Connecticut. As far as to my knowledge.
I know I was in Florida with racing Hotspot. It's a family vacation.
Yep.
And I was looking also in legend cars. I'm like, what? No way! I was like all excited. So if we take a step over to the inspection tools, so to speak.
Yeah. So I mean, we carry, like I said, we carry certain parts. We also carry tech tools as well for people that want to make sure their cars are ready for when they come race here or at other tracks. So we have the wheelbase gauge, which measures the wheelbase of the legend car and the Bandolero. So we have one of those. We have the frame height for the legend car, and then we also have the overall width gauge for the legend car.
All right, that's pretty cool.
Yep. So I mean usually at every track there's supposed to be tech inspection. So here we have tech inspectors from INEX, or not from INEX, but we have INEX tech inspectors that do pre-race tech and post-race tech. So that way they make sure that there's no competitive advantage one over another. It's all about fair, clean racing.
All right.
And they pretty much will find out if you're doing stuff to the car like you're not supposed to be doing.
All right. Well, I think that is it. Anything else you would think to throw in?
I mean, other than that, I hope to see a lot of people here this Saturday for the Gifford's Famous Ice Cream 25.
Well, we'll definitely be here. I've already made it clear that we'll be here doing it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, this is, like I said, this is definitely one of the more affordable ways to race nowadays. And with the convenience of having a dealership located on property at New Hampshire Motor Speedway, where we race both of these cars, it's very convenient for a lot of the race car drivers to pick up the parts that they need or other gear. And it's definitely the type of series that's growing in the New England region, and it's bound to increase more over as the years come.
All right. Well, thank you, Ryan, for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Well, thank you for having me on your show.
You're welcome. And hopefully this will bring awareness to legend cars around the country.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.